Welcome to Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis. Guys, I got merch on the way. Check out my mask. This is actually a handmade mask by my friend Jules. So it's a super comfortable mask, nice and soft. Won't jack up your ears like some of those other masks does or do. It's got a little metal clip here so that it holds in a little better so it doesn't slide down. So hey, it's a great mask. It'll probably be the most comfortable mask you'll ever wear. And I also got shirts on the way, and I got caps on the way, and some cool dampeners that I can't show you on the way. But I will link and I will announce when those will be available very soon. Okay? All right, so today we're going to be talking about Dunlop Explosive Speed strings. Recently, my friend Macys just started repping Dunlop, and she gave me some samples of their strings. Dunlop's not known for strings, so thought I'd give them a shot, you know, except for maybe Black Widow and Silk. But they've got a new line of polys out, and this is the one she really wanted me to try. She also gave me a sample of an Overgrip, the SuperTac. So I'm gonna go out to the court with Coach Andrew and Coach Chris and try them out with them. Okay? Stay tuned. All right, guys, so we're on the court. Got my man Coach Goo here, got my man Coach Chris here. And we'll be testing out this Dunlop Explosive Spin string. It actually comes in blue. I didn't know that until I opened the package. So, and also testing out their Dunlop super grippy Overgrip, SuperTac Overgrip, I think is what it's called. So we'll test it out right now. Stay tuned. So, just got off the court, that Dunlop Explosive Spin and that grip. Coach, what did you think of that string? Let's start with that.
So, the strings that I used, I was really impressed with these strings. Since I use Solinco strings, this is, for me, a hybrid of Confidential and Hyper G. It is firm, surprisingly firm. It's not as soft as Confidential or as soft as Hyper G's, but it's not as firm as Confidential. So it's a good mix between those two. Definitely a lot of power. It lacks the feel, but if you're looking for that power, that extra oomph to your ball, this is a perfect string for it. It feels really actually easy on my arm, so when I was generating a lot of power, it actually retains itself pretty well. But overall, I would say the string, if you're looking for a little more power and it's a little arm friendly, and forearm friendly, this is the string for you. I recommend that for people who want power and have less of a tennis elbow.
All right, perfect. Coach Chris, what did you think of that Dunlop Explosive Speed?
So I liked the string too as well. It pockets really well. It's a bit firmer than your Hyper G soft or Hyper G string. And although it doesn't quite have the same feel as you would expect, it still is a really explosive and powerful string too as well. It doesn't pocket as much as the Confidential that I normally use with my rackets, but this is just as much as fun to play with too as well. So.
I personally like the string. I got comfortable with it pretty much immediately. Like, it felt pretty much like home to me. As both of these said, it feels like confidential, but a little softer. So, which I like confidential. We all like confidential. Imagine confidential a little softer, a little more power, right? So I like power, right? So, Coach, what did you think of that Overgrip?
It definitely reminds me of the Gamma Supreme Overgrips. They're very, very tacky. I personally love tacky grips because I just like to feel them like more on my shots. So like I want to have a little more, I don't know, grip, like roughness on my grip, so I can feel it and feel like I don't slip out of my hand. But overall, I was really pleased with the grip. I honestly would change over. I use a Wilson Overgrip right now, but I would probably switch over to this because this has a little more tackiness than the Wilson grips.
Perfect. Chris, what did you think?
Yeah, so I'm someone who also likes to play with tackier grips. You know, I played a lot with MegaTac by Grip, so I've used those quite a bit when I was touring too as well. But this is definitely in that range, but maybe a bit below MegaTac. So I don't mind it too as well. I think it's great and a great alternative, maybe a cheaper alternative too as well for those who are looking for something like that. But I think it's great. I think Dunlop did a good job on this tacky grip, and maybe I'll keep using it too as well.
So, as you guys know, I don't even use an Overgrip, and but I like that. It's not bad. All right, if it lasts more than 1 or 2 times for me, you know, I might start using an Overgrip. But we're gonna finish this up in the shop. But I'd like to thank Coach Goo here for hanging out with me. Where can we find you, Goo?
You can find me at agu.tennis. I'll also be posting that content there.
All right. I want to also thank Coach Chris. Where can we find you, Coach Chris?
At Christopher Chien, Chien.
All right, perfect. So I will see you back at the shop. All right, so my review of the Dunlop Explosive Speed string. The first thing I noticed, and I didn't realize it until I opened up the package, is it's blue. It's kind of maybe a babyish blue, powder blue. That kind of took me off guard a little bit. I was expecting like a black or a clear string. But there's a reason why it's called Explosive Speed. There's actually good power, good feel, good ball pocketing in this string. It is poly. This particular one is a 125 millimeter 17 gauge. As Coach Andrew, Coach Chris, and even myself, we all play with Confidential, but this is almost there. This is almost at Confidential feel. It's kind of in between the Solinco Confidential and the Solinco Hybrid G. So if you're looking for something kind of in between the two, this would be your string. It actually felt really, really good. We probably got into about 2 hours with this string, and the tension maintenance was actually very consistent throughout those 2 hours. I would gather that you could probably get a good 10 to 20 hours out of this string. Because usually it's on the softer side, this type of string is usually on the softer side, you know, it'll definitely lose tension a little faster, a la Hyper G, but not quite maintain the tension as long as like our Confidential. But overall, you know, we love this string. I feel that this is probably Dunlop's best poly string on the market today. I think it's even better than a Black Widow. You know, I know Black Widow's a little soft, but this is a little firmer than that, but it plays real crisp. Definitely a fan of this string. So the other interesting thing about this string is when we strung this racket, my racket and Goo's racket, for all you stringers out there, this string was super easy to string. We actually we're thinking, man, it's kind of strings up like a super soft poly, almost like a synthetic. We were like, man, it went through the machine. We wove it really easily. Hey, look, it comes in black too. So we got the blue and the black in the Explosive Speed. So for those of you who don't particularly care for the blue, you can get black. All right, but super easy to string for you guys. I love that. Now, SuperTac. That grip is surprisingly great. You know, if you imagine, or if you've ever tried Gamma Supreme Overgrip, this is like that, except just a hair more tackier. It's just as thick as a Gamma Supreme, but feels actually really, really good. Just like I said, a hair tackier than that. For those of you who are pro Overgrip users, you'll like this. Or Yonex Super Grap users, you'll like this. I believe this is made in Japan. So when I was unwrapping this, it took me a little while because they put the film, the plastic film that protects the Overgrip on both sides. So I had to unpeel one, unpeel the other before being able to put it on. So there was a lot of, you know, quality control, and they took a lot of attention to detail with this grip. You know, that's usually what happens when it's made in Japan, right? So I love this grip. It's going to be one of my top grips or overgrips this year. So try the grip, try the strings. Great stuff from Dunlop. Thank you for watching Tennis Spin, where we put our spin on your tennis.